Welcome, Sagittarius, to your annual full moon 2-week forecast for the ascendant, the sun or the moon. On May the 31st, the second full moon of the month, a blue moon occurs in your sign. We can talk about Sagittarius full moons from a general viewpoint, but each one is totally unique. On the screen is this year's and all the other planetary influences. I'm going to unpack this for you by the end of the video. You'll have a clearer picture of what's upcoming as far as your energy, work, relationships, and also finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. You're at your best, Sagittarius, when you can speak freely. You have often a philosophical or knowledge-based route to your nature, but recently there's been a lot of energy going on in your relationship sector, and some of it has been very positive, and I must stress it can continue to be positive for you, especially if you're up to leaning into people's situation, collaborating, sharing information. There is a flow there that looks exciting. So what will be the rub with this particular year's event? Well, at 9 degrees and 55, the moon occurs in the first decan of your sign. So that's sub-ruled by Jupiter, your overall ruler. Jupiter can animate but also amplify. And the first house is about our identity, but the moon's about our emotion. One of the things that Saturn taught you through its journey through the sign of Pisces was not to diss yourself from your own feelings, to bring them to you. And it may be that in certain associations, you do feel a little bit lost. Maybe it's because people almost assume straight away that their issues should be paramount and ask you or expect you to be sensitive to them. It may be around someone new you're going to meet who has such an impact on you, it kind of shocks your routine and who you are, and you have to respond to that. That's entirely possible. But it may be because of the energies of Mars be to do with your work. Mars is in the sixth house, which can be duty. The first house is about what you need from a situation. So if you're doing things out of duty, particularly around a relationship, what it can do is see your emotions boil over, because Mars and the moon together don't work so well. They have such different energies. The first house is about your need to be in touch with your core needs. That Mars is about where someone may be expecting you to be very industrious, but on their behalf. And the collective in the seventh house, including the king of the sky, the sun, is also including Uranus. So there's going to be change coming around relationships for the next 7 years. Excitingly, challengingly, but it won't be dull. So this is an intriguing event because you can see Uranus is broadly in an opposition with the moon. So a lot of tension can be excitement, but also perhaps some pickiness. Maybe it's going to be yours. Maybe you're going to point out things that aren't quite right in certain situations and in an assertive way, and someone could be surprised. Also, it's worth saying that Mars is emerging from a very powerful right angle to Pluto. Pluto in the part of your chart through to 244, apart from a brief interlude in 43, is transforming your belief systems, how you communicate, your ideas. But that was in a very tense right angle with Mars, which peaked on the 26th of May. And although Mars is moving forwards, the separation is not that great. So that adds extra intensity. So it may be that this full moon is going to bring into the open, even in a good relationship, some just niggles that have been simmering in the background. So do buckle up. However, we also have in the fifth house, which is about romance, the magic of Neptune, but also the potential for distortion and the more rigidity of Saturn. And that's in a tense right angle with Venus, the relator, which rules the seventh house. So if you're trying to reach into a situation, showing good uh, collaboration and cooperation, and someone's still expecting it on their terms, that aspect there could really see you wanting to distance yourself and assert your boundary as an individual, your dominion, your first house. And it could happen very quickly. So, whether it's a good ongoing relationship, colleague, friend, neighbor, family member, someone you're involved with, someone you're about to meet. It's all very highly charged. It's exciting, dramatic, but it is going to take some care. I'm going to summarize those 4 areas of energy, work, relationships, and finances. But just to say, I've reduced the price of my personal horoscopes. There used to be buy two, get 30% off. Because of the cost of living increase, it's now you get three, but pay for one. Three for the price of one. The one you pay for is your life roadmap report, which helps us to understand the patterns that play out in our lives and get a more intimate understanding of them and how to work with those energies better future forwards. Free, your 12 months transit, but also your draconic soul karmic analysis. If your natal north node is not late in Pisces or early in Aries, your draconic chart can look very different to your natal chart. It helps us to look at astrology, life, and even ourselves in a very different and potentially profound way. Please see the link below for more. I've launched the June monthly videos, Sagittarius. If you've yet to watch yours, it's on the screen now. If you've yet to watch your Mars in Taurus 6-week forecast on the screen. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, absolute pleasure. I work with people the world over. Please see my testimonials below. And if you've yet to take advantage of your free natal, beg your pardon, your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, please do so below. Some people who are very much into natal astrology are very sniffy about daily horoscopes, but they're very carefully written, and I don't tell people what they need to do. I tell them what the planets are doing and what their activities may be targeted towards. So not prescriptive. And also it's that early day cosmic pit stop. Please see below for more. So to summarize, it's all about relationships, but in relationships, for them to truly work, there needs to be a good balance between what we get from a situation and what we give. And if something is out of alignment or someone's expectations of you are too great, and it may be at work, you're going to have to find your voice. And that means really being strong. What's going to help you in terms of your energy, I feel, is Mars in an intriguing way because it's in a part of your chart which is very much to do with being robust and having more stamina, but maybe you're just going to have to point out some details. And it may feel a bit petty to you, but if someone's being niggly, push back. As far as your professional situation is concerned, if you're applying for jobs, I think some really good news can occur for you in week 2 of June. But there is a need at the moment for you, anyway, to collaborate with others. So if you're working with people where there is a good flow, you're not going to fill this event. In fact, you could get closer and your collaborations improve. If, however, that's not the case, that could make you think, do you want to continue? And I think that's Saturn Venus square. As far as finances are concerned, some big good news is coming in the second week of June. You just may not feel it immediately on this event. So if someone, for example, owes you some money and you reach out to them, seventh house, reaching out, connecting, perhaps letting them know what you expect. No, they won't necessarily be as collaborative, but again, you need to be firm. As far as relationships are concerned, if you're single, there could be someone heading into your world who's truly exciting, but it can rock what you're used to at the moment, the status quo. If you're in an involved relationship, you need to let a partner know if they're not pulling their weight around the domestic chores or taking you for granted. In terms of a relationship which is struggling a little bit, that Saturn Venus square could be a really important aspect. And if you're not getting or feeling it, Uranus here could be about the need to separate and have freedom. It's been a pleasure being with you, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for joining me. All the best and look forward to seeing you again soon.